Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to the Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Show. I had a little buffering problem with my computer this morning, so it took me a little time to get on. That's why I didn't do my introduction and all of that. For some reason, I have this buffering issue. I put my YouTube program on, and my syncing didn't want to sync. So here I am. Good morning. Let's start my program. As you can see, my topics are already up for this morning. I woke up this morning to the news, first of all, that the United States Congress has decided to have the Attorney General of the United States of America file contempt charges against Steve Bannon, Donald Trump's man. You know, when people play with our democracy, play with our court systems, uh, process, we have problems. And this thing cannot be tolerated. With all we've been through, Donald Trump, his attempt to overthrow the government of the United States of America, and now we want to find out the truth about all that occurred on January 6, 2021. And this man is trying to stall it by having his people oppose congressional subpoenas. This is intolerable. Our democracy must exist. Our democracy is 400 years old. It is monumental. Monumental to world peace, individual freedoms, and the opportunity to pursue our own happiness as we want. This is a system that has afforded the world and peoples of all nations opportunity to build for yourselves, for your family, for your organizations, for what to do. Free will. What is better than that? Free will under the rule of law to ensure that all of us grow and prosper, both collectively as a nation and individually as people and families. So people to take our democracy and try to destroy it, mess with it, disrespect our court systems and our legal processes and procedures, we should all have problems with that. Nobody want to be a dictator in this nation yet. We've come too far. Nobody want to be under a dictator or one rule. Some crazy man get up in the morning, he ain't even brush his teeth good, confused, he didn't know what's happening, come out here and act like a nut and start insulting people of different races, talking down to people, like being president is your birthright. It's not a birthright. It's not a birthright. In your faith, they may tell you it's a birthright, but for us, no. It's based on merits. competence. And we got to maintain it. Nobody can take over our country and or family or something. No. It's the will of the people. That is what our Constitution, the thing that gives this nation life and breath, was founded on. So, please, my people, my American children, my Liberian children who come to be American, let's keep it this way. We have an obligation and a responsibility to keep our country a democratic nation, a free nation. Yes, we can have our nonsense problems here and there. Our race supremacists jumping up here and there, trying to think they can take over. Yes, we can have them going around, but let them keep their mess in the confined areas. Okay? When it has to do with our federal system and the use of our federal monies and resources, it's for the people. You will be like your race supremacists and all of that. You can go in your corner and do it by yourself. But you ain't getting support from us for that. And that will make America so great. You know, everybody can be what you want to be. Just keep it to yourself. Just go in your enclave or in cave or whatever you got that, and just keep your mess to yourself. Don't bring it out to all of us. Just follow the law. That's all we're telling you. All your shenanigans, your craziness, it better be in the law. Because if it's not in the law, we're coming for you. We got constitutional laws. That's it. We can do anything we want to do in the confines of the rule of law. So, what more freedom you want? What more freedom you want? What more power one man wants? When the people will give you the power. This is so great. We're not going to do a party. Nothing is forced here. Everything is by the will of the people. Free will. Just like our religious beliefs. Free will. You see, if we're Christians, that's what makes our democracy so great. Well, you don't have to come. But if you come, you don't know where you come from. And we all agree to philosophy. We all sign on to the Constitution of the United States, which tells you you can come. Come of your free will. But you must follow our rule of law. You cannot bend it, you cannot twist it, you cannot evade it. Certain things you can try to avoid. Your taxes, you can try to avoid it. Nobody want to pay taxes. Who would jump up in the morning and say, I got all this money, let me get some back to the government? Nobody will do that. Sometimes I see people step into my taxes, into my money and take taxes. I'm pissed off. Like I'm working like a dog and people taking my money on taxes to do what with it? That's why taxation in America is very important. Because when we work for our money in this country, we want to know why the government is taking it. These are the issues that make our country and our democracy so great. And this is why we must maintain it. Okay? What else? So many things. I woke up this morning. Oh Lord, I heard the president spoke this morning, Joe Biden. So to be president is tough. It's not an easy thing. Just to be president in a small country like Liberia is hard. It's just like the ignoramuses who got running our country. They don't care. And our people too ignorant to care about our country too. So we got two sets of problems. We got our leaders who are themselves in this day and age ignorant, greedy, murderers, have no cares for the masses of our people. You can see it by their actions, by the decisions they make, by the people who vote into power. You can't vote a man who can't read and write into power. You can't vote a man into our legislature who does not know his purpose for being there. Scratching it and Mr. Sir, yeah. Oh, okay. You wouldn't want those kind of people. When we put those kind of people in our legislature, we ourselves condemn our standards of living. We condemn ourselves. So we see the American system functioning. We see the president of the American government come there and the kind of question they pose to him and the kind of system he has to deal with, this vast system. Look at all the things they talk about with the president this morning. They talk about, let me go through it. They talk about the COVID-19 situation. This is a big situation in America right now. How do we approach this COVID-19 situation? First of all, we're losing money. Our economy is stranded. We haven't supplied a chain of supply problems. All of this impacting our country. We talk about it. He talked about it. Healthcare, that's another issue. Education, that's another issue. Immigration, that's another issue. Also another issue. Coal and gas, that's another issue. Emission, that's another issue. Climate control, that's it. Can George Weah handle all these things? I mean, this is a 70-year-old man standing up there and has to deal with all these issues. But these are serious issues confronting our nation. Free education. The law education country need to be enhanced. People need to get money to go to school. It's getting too expensive. The president had in his bill free education. They had to pull it out. And people concerned about. So all these things bombarding us. Right now, the president said 800,000 Americans need health aid, home health aid. We can't afford it. That means you can be home. People just come and teach you how to cook your food, clean up your house for you, and you just stay home. But they don't have money to pay those people to come into your home, to take care of you, to teach you what to do, to take care of your needs. So 800,000 of elderly people in this country are being deprived of. He looked at Medicaid, hearing aid, dental care, all those things. So the American people talking about money. Those are the things they look at. They're talking about taxes. So for us coming to this country from Liberia and Africa, we have to understand the American system of functioning. And don't, we'll suffer more. Because our community leaders have to understand the greater implications of adjusting our people to living in America. And if they don't know it right, we suffer. We suffer. Because if you help us and take the initiatives to do things for us, then you have to do it right. And our third world people coming to this country got to know when we're coming to the country like that, and people help us, we got to compensate them. It costs money. but we got to have the right organizational apparatus in place to help our people. You know, everybody can help our people, and that's where the deception and lies. Because if we access to federal government of America to bring our people to this country and settle them and adjust them, because we pay taxes. Every time we pay $150 for TPS and all the taxes stay in this country. We have no representation. Every time we go up for registration on TPS and do things, our families got to pay for it. These are people working, they have no benefits in the country. They don't have health care, they don't have anything. They got. We just here at the grace of God and the American people. So when we are taxed by the American government to renew our statuses here, and we don't have the people to do it for us, people volunteer at the time, people give in. We have to structure our society and our community. There would be a win-win situation for everybody. Because as it is now, many of our communities suffer because we don't have structured organizations. And this is one of the things I've been telling my people from time immemorial. This is one of the things why I will always on Yula. Because it works hand in hand. We can't blame the American people for not wanting to help us, or we can't depend on the American people for everything. We got to know that when they happen to us, we got to build organizations in our communities that will be supported by us based on trust, based on loyal people. We have most of them now. But the reason why we fail time and time again is because we have some of the same habits we bring from home. We bring it here. It can't work here. And we have to understand that we're in a different community. We're in a different society. When we look at the situation here, we always see like America. Let's say America. As I was talking about Joe Biden, I was watching the president. We're all in the paper, we're all in the text or anything, just walking around talking on the subject matter. Because he knows it. He eats it, he sleeps it. He's not going to the lodge to party. Even if you go to the lodge, he got to get up and be able to present himself to the American people. Because people asking you questions. We ain't got time for you to be guessing. We want you to know. And this is so amazing because we have the chance to learn. And from there you can see that leadership is not something small. Leadership is not a joke. Joe Biden will laugh and smile up there because, as he said, he's been a senator for 400 years. You know, he was just indirectly he was saying he's been senator for a long time. So as soon as he got it, he said, well, you know, I've been senator for 200 years. You know, people start laughing. So this is America. You got to understand where the people took, where the man going. Because he said he's been senator for years. That don't mean he's been senator for 200 years. You see? That's an analogy he's used to say, I've been there a long time. I've been there a long time. So I'm old, I'm a Cuba. So he said, oh, I've been there 200 years. Everybody laughs. So we know he's seasoned. But these are the issues facing. And one of them is the chain of supply. Right now in America, COVID-19 has impacted this country so badly that our economy is reeling. Right now we got 70 ships or more ships sitting in the port Nobody to bring the supplies. Why? COVID-19. People want more money. People want more money. So if you're gonna risk if there's COVID-19, I'm gonna risk my life to come out there and go, pay me. They want $7 an hour. They want no minimum wage. That's the problem we're having now. We got all these supplies sitting down at the dock, no drivers. The president of America was talking about using the National Guard to drive because people don't want to. People pay. People were in the situation. Hey, this thing is killing us. You just heard that the Fauci said we got 80,000 more new cases. It's not going down. We're having problem with mandates. The president is for mandates. You want people to wear masks because they're helping us. All those police people resigning, threatening us to resign. They ain't gonna resign. Because look at he talking about the military. Right now, 75% of the military vaccine, or more, 85%. A large percent of the military is vaccine. So we can't mind the noise. We need a healthy society. We need a healthy society to maintain our peace and stability. So we got to jump on the bandwagon and support this issue. Okay? I don't want to stay long on all of this. Let me make sure I got everything. He talked about infrastructure bill. He says divided into two. One is for building roads, bridges. The other is to look at issues like child care, parental leave. All these issues he wants to change. But people weighing it, where will you get the money from? Are we going to be tax moved? Corporations. Senator Joe mentioned in one of those states there, and other senators raising issues. And that issue makes sense too, because I explained it, I understood it when the president was talking about it, because Joe mentioned in a state that you want to choose the natural gas. And his issue is, what am I going to do with all my people who work in the mine and we still have coal, and you want to switch to natural gas or something else? What I would do with all those workers that are mining coal? Would they just sit down? No, they can't just sit down. Those people got to work. So we got to weigh the situation up. He has a point with his coal workers. They still have coal in the state. The state is still running on coal. The systems, some of the systems are still running on coal. We cannot change, although it would benefit those people, although other people will not have no work to do. What the coal workers will do now, if we switch, whether to just sit down, that causes more problems. So here we are now. We got to fight all these things. We got to fight climate change. Right now, the big companies have agreed to 1% of their cars, electric cars, within the next few years. We don't know how long that will take. He talked about solar energy, how we need to depend on these alternative source of energies. How they're making the batteries now for the solar panels to store more electricity. So during dark weather days, the battery or the solar panels can have enough electricity in them to power the house for a number of days. All these things are things we think the president look at. He got to pass this bill. Then he got to look at the black community and how the Republicans now are trying to tear our rights apart, take away our voting rights. Stop looking at police reform, which is must. And the president has also stated that after he passes this bill, his infrastructure bill, which he's fighting on, he will start looking at police reform, his promise to the black community, because what the Republicans are doing to us is unconstitutional. It's against the law. They're using their racism to hurt us, to keep us from voting, to punish us for voting for Joe Biden. And this is intolerable. So these are issues that my people in. We put Joe Biden in power. What is he doing for us when people are to step on our constitutional rights and our dignities? So he's going to address all of this. In the meantime, let me get into my topics. Okay? My first topic for the day is plenty of money, no plans. Number two, this is about Liberia. Plenty of money coming, no plans. Electricity challenges of the Liberian Electricity Corporation and the Liberian people. And third, conclusion. I don't want to spend more than an hour on my class. So my first topic, we know that recently the Liberian government approved the printing of $48 billion Liberian dollars to stabilize the Liberian economy. The Central Bank of Liberia has complained that there's only 27.5% needed to stabilize the Liberian economy. We need that much printed money, $27.5 billion for the Christmas season to stabilize the economy so people will buy the stuff with enough money in the bank. There will be enough exchange. They have also stated that $22.5 billion is lost in the Liberian economy. And this is why the legislature came together to see how they could work out, working with the Central Bank of Liberia, our local banks and community businesses to stabilize the Liberian economy. These people have been messing with our economy for so long. The mop of money disappeared. That was supposed to alleviate many of the problems in this country. Now we also hear that our $5 and $10 bills will be coins. That were alluded to in the front page African news report. So of all this money that has been approved, there is $4 million Liberian dollars in the country now. They needed $8 million for the Christmas season. $48 million was approved to solve the whole problem. $8 million was supposed to come between now and January. $4 billion. This is billion Liberian dollars. $8 billion supposed to come between now and January. The first $4 billion is here, Liberia. And that's a problem. How are they going to infuse this money into Liberia's economy? We have the old money that's still going around. This money here is the bank note. The new bank notes that are coming in. The central bank itself has a problem. What is the purpose of this money? Is this money to resolve the economic problems of the country, or is this just to change notes, to the old banknotes off and infuse the new banknotes? This is a situation. We got all this money coming in. Now the legislature want to know, how is this money going to be used? Because this money is also $100 bill. It's $100 denomination. It's not nothing like $20, $30, $40. No, it's a $100 note. How are they going to infuse this money into the economy? How are they going to take the old money out and put the new money in? There's no plans. So Senator Darius Dillon and the members of the legislature want to know. And all of this is impacting our economy. We're talking about the devaluation of the dollar, the money now. The exchange rate going down from 170 to 160. People complaining because even though the exchange rate going down, commodities remain the same prices. So we're facing an issue. How do we infuse this money? Next week, the legislature has called the central bank and the economic development team, or whatever team they got handling the money situation, to come and explain to the Liberian legislature how they intend to infuse this money into the Liberian society. How they intend to take the old money off the market and put the new money in. So this is where we stand. Besides this $4 billion that is here, another $4 billion is expected to come in January. We have to have a plan. There are so many things going on in our country right now that we don't have plans for. And the more we grow, the more we try to develop and expand our situation, the more we try to resolve these problems facing us. We need plans. We can't just make money and say we want to solve the problems with our notes. We want to get the bad notes off the market. We want to put new notes in. We want to do this and that, and we don't have plans. So how are we going to do these things? How are we going to do it? There's the problem with getting cash. Everybody in society saying they have access to cash. The government saying that is because of the high rate of demand for cash, and they don't have ATMs. That's another economic challenge we are facing. And all of this adds to the inflation. Inflation is the devaluation of our money, with the commodities and sales prices of things remaining the same. They're not changing, and that's what we're facing in Liberia right now. People crying about the economic change. They see the money dropping, the value, the exchange rate dropping, but they're putting things on the market. The prices are staying the same. We are in a deep economic inflation. How do we come out of this inflation? How do we balance our economy with our plans? with a high rate of corruption and stealing and dishonesty going on, how do we balance our economy? That is one of the big questions we got to deal with. And we look forward to seeing what the central bank and our economic team has to say next week when they visit the legislature to tell us what kind of plan they have going forward of infusing this money into our economy. And it's very terrible when we have so many issues. We have so many economic issues, that we need to be able to be resolved. Economy, electricity, all of this rests on our abilities to have leaders who are conscious of the direction of our country, the interests of our people, how to handle our economy, how to handle our economy. We can't go on this trend. If we're going to take our money off the market, we need a plan. The mop-up plan failed. The mop-up plan failed. We lost. We have not recovered our money yet. And we come to bring another $4 billion this time between January, $8 billion, and we still don't know how we're going to get the old notes of the market, or whether this money is going to be used for our economic development or not. If the central bank, people confused, then where we got all this money coming in from? If we're not settled on what this money is for, if the bank manager is asking us whether this money is for development or to change bank notes, we have a failure to communicate again. And that's why they're calling the bank team in again. It's a leadership problem. The challenge is not only with our economy, the challenge is our leaders. Because it seems the more we move forward, the more we confuse, the more challenges we have. Not only with our economy, with everything else that's functioning in our country. We have a problem. So between now and next week, we'll hear what our legislature has to say. We're resolving this matter. Because with all this money coming into our country, we stand a chance of going through the same problem we went through with the mop-up money. The same problem we went through with people stealing our money and not accounting for it. So here we are again. 25 million missing, another 4 billion coming in the country. We don't know what to do with it. Let me move on to my second topic. I mean, we just got to settle We'll see next week where the bank has to say how they're going to try to infuse this money in the society, and we'll go from there. Okay, and but we got to let's move on to my second topic. Let me take a break. Going slow this morning. Wow. Okay. I'm having buffering problem this morning. I can't get none of my everything telling me to wait. Okay. Our electricity issue in Liberia. We see, that what took me so long to come now. I just went to Front Page Africa. I wanted to make sure that I had everything for my news report. And I clicked it, saw the report of the European Union mission leader, Mr. Dela House. Sorry. It's Dela House. Let me get his name correctly. Laurent Dela House, the European Union missions leader delegation head to Liberia. And he was talking about our electricity corporation, our whole electricity grid situation, and the challenges we have. In that area too, we like planning. We need strategic planning. Because right now, LDC could be a major revenue generator for the Republic of Liberia. And that's what the man is saying. With all the electrical advancement being made in the region, the CSGL lines, CLSG lines, with CLSG lines from the European Union connecting Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Ivory Coast on one electrical grid in the region. The man is saying Liberia should be in the position to take advantage of that situation. We should be in a position to be able to see the opportunities of strategically advancing our country and our electrical interests now. Because the more we sit down and don't act, the more we sit down, our leaders don't see the great interest that this area of our economy could bring to our country, we lose. He's saying right now, the Europeans in Africa, that the CLSG lines is a transmitter network. They're using transmitters. That's why you see George, we are going all over the place, giving people transmitter. They put in transmitter all over the place. But they're looking at more sustainable power, the hydroelectric power, and other aspects of electrifying our country. But he's saying that we need two things. One, we need to stop the theft. He says 1/3 of our electrical power is being lost to theft, to tampering with the meters. And if people pay their bills as they should, we have a greater leverage of building an electrical system, a grid for Liberia to save our whole country. So as it is, 38,000 homes are being serviced, which is nothing. Businesses and home and all of that. I guess most of it is businesses. And it's a grave problem. We could do more. But the power theft is too much. And if we stop it and concentrate on developing or increasing our generation, our generator capacity, our generation capacity to generate more power, things will get better for our people. But we need a strategy. And he pointed out 5 strategies that's good for Liberian people to pursue. And here are the 5 strategies. He said we should build up our generation capacity so that we can meet the expectations we need in our power consumption. Okay, right now we want transmitter power, but we should concentrate on developing that power by adding increased generating capacity from hydro, from other things to connect to this power grid that CLSG line is currently emitting through the region. He's saying we shouldn't just depend on that. We can augment that by improving our hydro power and our solar system to build onto that CLSG line that's going through the region. Okay, so one of that will be to build our generation, to look at our hydropower, to look at our solar power. Just like President Biden is talking about solar power and batteries in America, should we concentrate on solar power to help generate electricity for our country? He also saying that it is ambitious for us to use Liberia's assets for nationwide energy. The same thing I'm talking about. Our hydro, we should go at it. We should pursue these ambitious economic plans for our hydro. It's generating capacity, building, increasing generation capacity. Then he look at sustainable participation to regional network offered by the CLSG line. Okay. He said this line from the European Union that is helping electrify Liberia, Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, we should take advantage of it. It's not going to end. They will sustain it. They will add more to it. They're going to increase the megawattage. Right now, Liberia is getting 125 megawatts. They will increase it to 4,000, something like that. All these things are plans they have in store. So we should take advantage of it. It's going away. They will sustain it. They want to build it. They want to increase it. They want to make it better. Now, as they are using the transmitter network, we should concentrate on adding on to that with hydro and solar and other power to augment our electrical supplies. Okay? He said we should strengthen its client-based production through the delivery of power to many more homes and businesses and families, and this will help with the money. Okay? Because right now, the way we're not producing It's a lot of money. But when we explain when we increase our generation capacity and be able to deliver services to more Liberian people, the prices will drop. Price, the monthly fee you pay for lights and all the things will drop because there'll be more power available. The grid will increase. And when the more we invest in electricity and increasing the power grid, the generation capacity, more people will get electricity at cheaper rate. But in order to do that, we got to ensure that people stop stealing electricity. We got to focus on as well as improving our capacity, because we cannot be improving our electricity capacity for the country when 1/3 of electricity is being stolen. So these are things that matter to us, and we got to do them, okay? Because we got to plan. We got to plan. After all of these things, actually, my lesson today rests on planning. Concluding all I've said, we like planning in our economic structure. We like planning in our infrastructure. How we're going to lay out, how we're going to do our hydro plants, our solar systems, all those things are the same infrastructure that Biden talking about. But here we are in Liberia. How are we going to deal with these things? So right now we're facing a serious problem that we need to put Liberia first. We need to understand the challenges we have and how we're going to deal with them. So right now, it's planning. We got to plan on how we're infusing all this money into our economy. We got to plan what happened with the $20 does not happen with this $48 million coming in to stabilize our economy. And if we must stabilize our economy the right way, we need a plan. And our central bank must let us know how they plan to infuse this money. They must know the purpose for which this money is here. Is it to stabilize our economy? Is it to get the old banknotes off the market and put new banks on? What is the purpose of all this money coming in? We have to be specific. We have to know, because it's impacting our economy. We have the money dropping, but the commodities are the same prices. So people are complaining, why is the money dropping so fast? Why is the exchange rate dropping and commodities prices are the same? So here we are again. We got to work through this. Planning, good governance, good leadership, all of this come into play. We look at our oil reserve and the laws they're making. I just put something up on it. We're talking about the 5% that people say they changed for the Liberian people to only benefit a few chair, the speaker, or whatever he is in the legislature, come and say now they didn't change that law. They only add a law that's saying that Liberian people who own all companies can have the right to purchase oil for themselves. on the big market through their oil company. But this opportunity is not afforded to all Liberians. So this is the same thing we're talking about. Why can't all Liberians invest or sell if they got the money? Why is it only afforded to those who have companies? The same thing we're going through. Took our free money and gave it only to those with gas companies. Now they're telling those gas companies people, if you got more money, you can invest and have access to the bigger market if you got money. But what the rest of us? Why aren't we afforded that same opportunity to go through NOCAP and invest and buy oil and shares and blocks from the big oil companies of the world? They got to explain this to us. I'm not an economist, but it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not an economist, but this one-on-one, the addition, it don't make sense. So until they can get together and explain it to us, we need a deeper depth of understanding in what these people do with money. They all this money. They're telling us they don't know how to infuse it in the economy. That's a problem. So we got all this money coming in and no plan. We got our electricity grid that could generate money. Everybody getting pissed off because our country cannot function without electricity. And our country cannot stay in darkness forever. You cannot have the business sector with electricity and the private sector with no electricity. It can't work. We got to be able to electrify our country and be a stable electrical grid. And in order to do that, we must stop the stealing and the cost of the people, the struggle. My class is done. Aluta. Continue. Have a good day. I'm sorry with all the difficulties. I don't know why I came out of there this morning. Have a good day. I've been trying to get my American disease. I can't get nothing going to. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. Let me just go.